Assalamu alaikum. So I wanted to do something a bit different for this video. I have an exam coming up and it's in Usul al Fiqh, and I'm finding it a bit difficult actually, this exam, but it's really interesting, and I thought it would be fun to show you guys what it's all about and how I'm going to study for it, inshallah. So let's see how it goes. So Usul al Fiqh is basically the principles of fiqh, or the general rules that apply to fiqh. A good way to explain this is that it gives you the tools to derive the rulings from the sources of the Sharia, or the sources of Islamic jurisprudence. So in this diagram we have here, we have this tree, and on this tree there are some fruits, and these fruits represent the ahkam, or the rulings. And this man standing here is the mujtahid, or the person who wants to derive these rulings. So basically this is a person trying to pluck these fruits. And in order to reach these fruits, he needs a tool to get to these fruits. So the explanation they're giving you here is that this stick or this cane that he is using to reach these fruits, or this tool that he is using, this is basically Usul al Fiqh. So this is the ala, this is the tool that you need to derive the rulings of fiqh. So these are the general principles of fiqh. So it's a really interesting subject. When you learn Usul Fiqh, you're dealing with general principles and holistic rules that you can apply to different situations. And I want to give you some examples. And I think it's very interesting to share this because a lot of people, they don't really understand what a madhab is. They think it is just about blindly following an imam. It's just about following Imam Shafi or Imam Abu Hanifa or Imam Ahmad or Imam Malik. But madhab is actually quite far from that. Madhab comes from dhahaba. Dhahaba means to go, or to dhahaba means to go. So madhab is a path, or madhab is a methodology, a way of seeing things. It is a school of thought. And when you learn Usul Fiqh, you can see this methodology and the differences in this methodology, and you can see where the differences in opinion come from. You can see how they differed in their principles, and from that the differences came when they derived the rulings. So this subject that I'm learning for my exam that is coming up is called Qawa'id al-Fiqhiyya, or the rules of fiqh. So Qawa'id al-Fiqhiyya, these are some general rules in Usul Fiqh, general principles in Usul Fiqh that the fuqaha used to derive rulings. So these are rulings like, these are principles like al-mashaqqatu tajlibu taysir. Whenever there is difficulty, we accommodate. Whenever things are difficult, we try to make matters easy. And it's important to understand the context in which the ulama say this. it doesn't mean that whenever something is difficult in our deen, we just make it easy. It's difficult to pray Salat al-Fajr, so we just pray whenever we can. That's not what it means. It's difficult to buy a house without riba, so it's okay to take riba. It's okay to deal with riba. No, that's not what it means. Whenever there is a possibility to make matters easy within the boundaries of the Sharia, then we do so. So imagine there is some impurity way over there, and there are some flies in the area, and you're in a busy place, and there are some flies flying over this area, and there is some impurity over there. Someone wants to go so far as to say, you can't pray your salah in this vicinity because a fly might sit on this impurity, and it might come and sit on your thawb or on your clothes. So in this situation, you're going to say to this person, it is a general principle in fiqh, al-mashaqqatu tajlibu at-taysir. Whenever there is difficulty, we accommodate matters. Another example, a doctor who's performing surgery, and it's a critical surgery. He cannot pray his salawat on time. Maybe he has to continue for hours and hours, and he's going to miss Dhuhr, Asr, and Maghrib. So what does he do? So again, we can use one of the rules that come under this qaida. Al-darurat tubih al-mahdurat. The emergencies allow what is prohibited, as long as the emergency stands. So these are some principles of fiqh. And subhanAllah, this is a really interesting topic, Usul al Fiqh. And it's very enjoyable to learn, subhanAllah. So, but if you want to learn fiqh, I definitely recommend learning fiqh. One of the reasons I wanted to learn fiqh is because my initial takhasus, my initial major was Ulum al-Quran and Ulum al-Hadith for my bachelor's degree, which is very important for giving you basis. And without the Quran and the Hadith, nothing else is useful. That is the basis of our deen, obviously. But one of the reasons that I was very interested in fiqh is because I found a lot of people, they focus so much on hadith and they completely neglect fiqh. So, and fiqh is very important because fiqh is actually the application of the hadith. Fiqh is how you derive the rulings from these hadith. So sometimes you learn the hadith, but you don't know how to apply these rulings. And this causes a lot of problems. And fiqh deals with the practical application and the practical rulings. So it is very useful. Everything you learn, it can benefit you enormously. So if you want to learn fiqh, I definitely recommend learning it in Arabic. Apart from the basics that you need to practice your wajibat, your salah, your sawm, your zakat, your hajj, all of these things, you have to learn it and in your native language. But to further your studies, I definitely recommend doing it in Arabic, because like the diagram I showed you of the man trying to pluck the fruits, you need the tool to pluck these fruits. So if you don't have the tool, the main tool is Arabic, to derive the rulings, to understand the technicalities, to understand the meanings of the ayat and the ahadith. So if you don't have this main tool, you're like a person standing under a very tall tree wanting to pluck the fruits, and you don't have this long cane to do so. So I definitely recommend starting with your Arabic, and that might seem like, something very far away, but I want to encourage you, small of you, put your mind to it, inshallah. Just 1 or 2 years you spend for your Arabic, you can achieve it, bi'idhnillah ta'ala. If you're starting out with your Arabic, start with a really simple textbook like Durus Lugha, the Medina series, or Al-Arabiyyah Bayna Yadayk. If you've been doing Al-Arabiyyah Bayna Yadayk, then progress on to the Ajrumiyyah. I have a course on the Ajrumiyyah which explains all the basic concepts in English, so it will give you a very thorough understanding of all these basic concepts, of the grammar concepts. So inshallah you'll have a good foundation, inshallah. I'll put a link to this course, inshallah, in the description. And from there, slowly you can progress, reading simple books. And once you have this tool, then inshallah that will really open the doors of ilm to you, and you can progress from there, bi'idhnillah. So I wanted to share this wonderful ilm that I'm trying to learn. And this exam, subhanAllah, I'm finding it a bit difficult. I hope it goes well, bi'idhnillah. And please make dua for me. And inshallah, I will see you in the next video. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.